What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction and back with some more hard house slash hard trance. Indeed, I did a second look reaction for a hard house slash hard trance tune, and it occurred to me that on my old channel I had reacted to a track called Afrotekno by tech-trance pioneer, I suppose. One of the first people I remember people used tech-trance to describe his music, Nick Sentience, who I discovered through the Nukleuz label, which, you will see continues to remain a facet of my DJ station. I would say, though, the green Nukleuz sublabel is where, or no, wait, it's the purple one. I think it was the purple one. Basically, the blue is like the Hoover-driven hard house, BK, kind of real stomping sort of stuff. The green sublabel, it was a bit, trance-like. I think there was a bit of a hybrid style there. And indeed, I think the BK Nick Sentience remix of Iguana, is that right? I think it was on the green sublabel. But yeah, ultimately, I think the purple sublabel became the tech-trance division of Nukleuz, and I think that's where you would see Nick Sentience a lot. Either way, as you can tell, it's not an artist I have, a vast amount of his catalog, but I do have some tracks from him around the turn of the millennium, in particular because he made tunes and remixes with the aforementioned BK, Ben Keen. So, yeah, this one, it has a very trance-like atmosphere. It's got melody, it's got a bit of drama. So, again, it's not like the blue sublabel of Nukleuz just driving Hoover-driven, heavy bassline hard house, but it does have hard house percussion. The kick drum, the stylings of the percussion, it really does, have a hard house sound. So it's a really good hybrid track by a person who, sort of has a history of making tracks on the edge of a couple genres, hard house, hard trance. So let's get it. This is Nick Sentience, and we're going to listen to the album version. Yeah, the album version. Although I don't, have whatever album this comes from. I will point out this is QualityTrax 1. It's not a label I remember all that well, and, perhaps this was one of the only releases. Perhaps it was sort of a special, sub-label or, kind of one-off label. Either way, let's listen to Nick Sentience and the album version of Afrotekno. After we get a little fluff off of the needle, or the stylus technically. 45, maybe? It's gotta be 33. Which I say because there's two tracks on this side. If it was a hardcore record, it could be 45, even with two tracks. Well, that's default. It's got tempo. I like that little, it's a rattle, but it has a bit of tension to it. That rapid fire cymbal run. You see a lot going on already. Reverse bass moments. unlike the Trauma Machine by, what is it? It's like Dirk Iteron or something. Like a game show bit. Suddenly giving way to something more serious. Still, like just now, I recalled the memory of buying this record in the shop. Because up to this point, it was like, okay, it's sort of a, you know, a driving, if austere, hard house track. And this part came in and I was like, oh, I'm buying this. I'm buying it. But this is just the pre-melody. Epic team. Spaceships flying by. That was Nick Sentience, but I don't think I've reacted to it, so I'll just say that. It is weird, sometimes you're playing a mix and you're mixing a tune or you just go into a tune, you hear it and you're like, oh, I know what I want to mix out of this into. Which, like, if you have it in your bag in front of you or in a stack in front of you, all good, but if you have a couple thousand records dispersed throughout your apartment, it's like, can you find it in time to come back and still transition out of it? See my Boxing Day banger holiday mix. When I, like, for the first 2/3 of the set, I kept leaving after I would mix into a track because there was a record I was looking for. I eventually found it and used it, and along the way found like 2 or 3 other records. I'm like, oh, I gotta use that too and that too. But it all worked out in the end. But again, like once you start a set, you're limited by what is in front of you or what you can get within a very short amount of time. And again, if you're mixing hardcore, there's probably no way you have time to like go flip through a stack, or cause hardcore tracks are like 4 minutes maybe. Either way, like I said, it all worked out in the end. But as I said, as this was playing toward the end, it was like, ooh, I know exactly what I would mix out of. Fairly certain I've never reacted to it, so I shall keep it a mystery for now. But the next hard house reaction will be the tune I'm thinking of, which I suppose I'll give you a hint, or at least narrow it down to a handful of tunes. It's on the second side of my mixtape, which now that means you won't have heard it, because I think I've only uploaded the first side of my professional mixtape, which was made late 1999, and which features like whatchamacallit, a bunch of hard house and hard trance, basically. Like, again, it was like equal parts both, with a lot of acid. But yeah, the second side of the tape, there was an issue at the beginning where and it's only for like the first minute and a half. I should post it. I'll post the second half of my tape, and one of those tunes is the track that I will react to next time for hard house. But yeah, there's a part near the beginning where I was recording this tape on my friend's mixer, and his mixer, essentially it was an older mixer, and it bled. And what that means is, there's the left-right crossfader, right? And if you're all the way left, you're all the way right, it's supposed to be that you can't hear the track that's on. So, if I'm all the way over here, channel 2, and this is channel 1, even if it's, the volume's up for channel 1, you're not supposed to be able to hear it if it's the crossfader's all the way over here. But his mixer bled, so even completely over here, you could still sort of hear. Now, I didn't know that, and, very soon after that, I adopted the policy of, whatever record isn't playing, I always have down on the channel, no matter where the crossfader is. But yeah, so that in the first couple minutes of the second side, you can hear the other record as I'm, beginning to beat match and thinking about where I want to mix in. So it's there's moments where you can kind of hear two kick drums, and it's wait, what's happening? And believe me, when I discovered this after recording it, he was like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you, my mixer bled. It was bruh, why didn't realize that was happening? So yeah, ultimately it's only an early bit. Either way, it's annoying. So I didn't post the second side, but it is so limited that I will post it. Whatever. Do let me know what you think of this tune. I have a couple other Nick Sentience related tracks, although again, most of those are with BK, because he was the guy that sort of turned my attention to hard house in the first place. So I have a lot of his records. Let me know what you think of this, and I shall be back for the track that will be on the second side of the tape from way back when, that I'll post soon on my YouTube. I will see you then. Peace.